this weekend. So we moved it.
What's the matter?
Doesn't have to.
Oh, your food bill just was high up. Oh, I'm not gonna cook. No,
It's good of you.
you gotta pay
I
it.
know you are.
Running the pavement.
You are a nice guy.
Nobody ever says that, but
They do.
we'll tell them it's ours.
They don't tell you because they don't want you to get a fat head. They do.
Well, you know what a naval reactor's office is?
Yeah.
Whether I go for a walk, my boss called me in with suspicious. You know, you walk out in the yard, you ask people in the public, nice guy, you think that,
Yeah.
but everybody says, boy, that Kelly, what a nice guy.
Why
did they do that?
A lot of those guys aren't.
Yeah.
I mean, they are, but you know, it's the face.
We're on.
Here, take this.
Oh,
What are you trying to say? How timid and shy I am. Hey, you being fresh?
right there.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to call the regular meeting of Wednesday, May 14th, 2014 to order. I'd like to start with, join me with in the pledge, please. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Delegation, anybody from the public like to speak to the board? Mr. Schultz.
Mike Schultz, Lovers Lane, East Lyme. I came this evening just to thank you folks for all the work you put forth into this budget. It's appreciated. I know that it's a tremendous amount of effort, and I think that the public does more of us should be showing up to thank you. So, well done.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming and saying so. It was nice.
Moving on. Approval of minutes. Approval of regular minutes, April 9th, 2014. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Comments from the board? Hearing none, we'll move through a vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 6-0. Approval of special meeting minutes of April 14th, 2014. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Moved, made and seconded. Comments from the board? Hearing none, we'll go to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
6-0.
Abstain.
5-0-1. Sorry. Approval of public hearing minutes of April 21st, 2014. Do I have a motion? I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Comments from the board? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 6-0. And approval of special meeting minutes of April 21st, 2014. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Comments from the board? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
6-0. Thank you. Moving on, reports. Mr. First Selectman.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. How are you this evening? Good.
Thank you.
Quick report. The water project is winding down and beginning to think about getting turned on. We have, as you know, the distribution period or the transmission period is from September 15th to May 15th, where we can send water to New London for credit and come back. And we're not going to make that as tomorrow is the end of that period. So we are looking to do a side agreement with New London to allow the transfer of water back and forth. We think that first, due to the high water table that currently exists, and second, to the fact that we typically have excess water on Monday evenings, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays, and we want to get the process going so that we have a feel for the operational issues that may come up for this, that we're going to just send water back and forth the first part of the week and the second part of the week, and then hopefully by July 4th we're ready to go, and then if we find ourselves in a shortfall situation, we won't be until then we may be able to just mitigate that by transferring water. So we're in the process of working that out. The line has been leak tested. The tank is now full of water. I was in there today. We had a visit by the Department of Health, and we gave them a tour of the pump stations, both of which are almost complete. There's a couple of repairs that have to be done on the pump station up by your house there, but they're operational and moving forward. We'll begin to operate that shortly. And again, we have great staff here. Brad and Joe Lazzafami in New London will work very hard together to get that done. And we toured the New London treatment plant and the tank and ours today. So we're beginning that process and moving forward. The next item is we're going to be talking about is Energize Connecticut. This is an opportunity for those residents in the community to get an energy audit. You pay $75 for the energy audit. They come into your home, and for that $75 you get at least $700 worth of energy savings work in terms of window treatments and other things that they recommend. And then there's a program through CL&P that you can sign up for, and it's like a performance contract where they determine what you would be able to save on your monthly and yearly electric bill, what work you could do. They would provide low interest financing or no interest financing to that. Get that done, add that to your electric bill, and the savings should offset the cost of this program. So it's a per resident program. In other words, it's tailored to your individual household. There are commercial opportunities as well as residential opportunities, and so we'll be rolling this out very shortly, and it'll be a way for residents to save money and to make energy efficient homes and buildings, and also for CL&P to manage the power output a little bit and get a control on that. It also gives us credit for the clean energy program that we signed up for a number of years ago, where that if we guarantee or that we're going to try to get a certain percentage of renewable energy into our community by 2018, we get certain points and credits. And once you get 100 points, you get a $10,000 rebate from them as a community. You can use it as a little solar program or a cash rebate to be used to improve something. We're at 86 points right now over the years, and I think the solar park is going to certainly kick us over that. But it's a good program. We'll be rolling out the details as we get moving forward, and we'll certainly be taking advantage of them both as a municipality, and then I hope all of us as residents get an opportunity to take advantage as well.
Who conducts excuse me. Who conducts the audit?
It's conducted by a CL&P authorized contractor. That they come in, they're authorized to do that. I'll give you some of these forms you can look at, but they have to be approved by CL&P, and then they're authorized to do the work.
Great.
So,
Any questions from the board? I have one. No income limit on, you pay $75, and regardless of your income level, you get $700 worth of free stuff in your house.
It's based on the house. There also are some eligibility programs separate that we're going to be working with Kathy Wilson, for example, in terms of senior and lower fixed income people. You get different qualifications, but this program is for everybody in everybody's house, and then you get that kind of back. Because what they want you to do is to go in there, they want to identify where the leaks are, what they can do, plug up what they can plug up, and then if there's more work to be done, and the idea is for them to save a certain percentage of energy output from the grid.
I had it done a few years ago. It was worthwhile.
Yeah.
And I've done it in all my housing.
When is it going to start?
It's starting.
Oh, it has.
So
Okay.
we're just rolling it out and getting the information out to the people. So hopefully get the website done. Carmen is still trying to get that up and going. We're way behind on that. We're maybe at the 6-month mark left to go, but there's a lot of, as you heard from the finance meeting the other night, we got to be better about that. So.
Any other questions from the board?
You've
Thank you.
answered this at least 3 times, and I guess I have a sieve here. When did you tell me the board work repair was going to start?
As soon as Amtrak gives us the final approval. We have the money appropriated. We have the low bidder. He's been vetted by the building committee and by our staff. We have the Army Corps permits. We have the DEP permits. We have met with Amtrak. We have the vice president in charge of engineering. Came down here. There were 8 of us sitting around the table. They have got all the plans. When they came down, we had a PowerPoint presentation about the meets and bounds as to what the contractor was actually going to do, how close the equipment was going to be. From that presentation, it was determined that perhaps some or all of the work that they had charged for in the initial bid would not be necessary because we might be outside the 25-foot scope of influence for Amtrak for a lot of the work. Certainly the steel panels going in may all of a sudden now be out there. So they have that. They asked us for a recorded copy of that presentation. So they have that. We've sent that out to them. They have everything. We have Courtney's office, Blumenthal's office. We have everybody pressuring them on a daily basis. And the reason is simple. We have 2 issues at hand. One, the low bidder must hold his bid for 90 days. That 90 days is up May 21st. Steel prices, if they go up even a penny, is $100,000 difference in what's going on. So that could affect what's happening. So Amtrak knows this. They promised to give us an answer by this week, as next week is the 21st. As soon as they give us an answer and we come to an agreement on what they're paying for and what they're not paying for, and we do have $400,000 in that bid from the contractor to pay for a certain amount of their revetment, but we're going to try to trade that for the other. We're just going to pay for it because we're nice people, even though we're very nice people. We're going to just say, look, we're going to give you that. You got to give us the track flagman and stuff because you're getting something on your property. So that's what we're trying to make them understand.
So you expect it to be eminently?
Listen, it's ridiculous that it's gone on this far. It's absolutely ridiculous. This is just Amtrak being Amtrak, and they just need to get off the dime and get this done right. They certainly had asked us to participate quickly and attend meetings that they had for public information when they wanted to get the bridge done. And I did that, and the town stepped up and we did that. It's time for them to do that now. So they need to move, and they need to move quick. And if they don't move by Friday, then we're just going to have to do something to put more pressure on them. It's an indication why they've been not profitable over the years.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions from
Not
the
to
board?
sugarcoat it.
Never.
Ms. Johnson?
All right, so you had your packages. In the package, you had the month reports for April, including the narrative that I typically do. And this evening, I provided you with the March reports for the Board of Education. Does anyone have any questions?
I don't have any specific questions. Just a general question. Are there any areas of concern you have that you'd like to talk to us about specifically?
The only thing I did, as I did articulate in my my transmittal to you, I am working with Public Works Director Joe McGraw to get all of the building maintenance and Public Works Department deficit accounts resolved. We're going to meet on Friday to go over that. We do expect to come before the boards to ask for approximately $45,000 for the heating for the winter. We had, just a bad winter this year.
Okay.
Any other questions
Thank
from
you.
the board?
No.
Thank you. Moving on. Special appropriations for the building department. Mr. First Selectman.
Mr. Chairman, this is an item that we need to bump up the line item for the building inspections that we need to have happen due to the fact that we are seeing earlier applications for the larger units, certainly up at Gateway, the solar farm, all these big projects coming in. This is going to be offset by revenue. So that's why the one transfer goes to the revenue account and then one to the expenditure account on this. So this is just something, and Joe is here if you need more detail on that. It's just that some of these projects are coming fast and furious, and you just need some help to get this done.
This is for this year?
This year, yeah,
14.
this current year.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Do I have a motion?
Move to approve a special appropriation in the amount of $7,500 to budget account 4-01-01-104-100-212, building official, and revenue account 4-01-05-500-501, building permits, due to increased activity in permitting and inspection activity.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Questions from the board?
Yes, I just have one question. We're putting 7,500 on the expense line and 7,500 in the revenue line. Okay. It just looks like one 7,500.
For a total of 15,000 in?
7,500.
On each side.
Money is coming out of the revenue account to fund the overtime, the part-time.
It's just the way it's
inspectors.
worded, it looks like.
Well, actually, what we're doing is we're going to increase the budgeted amount for the revenue account and the expenditure account by 7,500.
So it's gonna
It's
be
a
push.
wash.
It's a wash, yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
that's it.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the board?
Just out of curiosity, where's the 4-unit residential building?
Where's the what?
The 4-unit residential building? Is that Gateway also?
Mhm.
So all this.
38
no?
Hope Street?
Hope Street? Okay. And is the 30% single-family home applications pretty much the orchards, or where are you seeing that activity?
The increase in the single-family home permits is pretty much town-wide. We are seeing a lot happening at the orchards, a little bit more than last year, but that doesn't make up the whole increase. It's just been a very good year pretty much across the town for new home building.
Is it down by the shore? I'm just curious, which areas and how that might affect the children enrolling in the school in the fall?
Well, I would say most of the activity is along the shore.
Okay.
Some of it is as a result of rebuilding homes after the Hurricane Sandy. I'd say 3 or 4 were knockdowns and replaced after the storm. But the vast majority are, when the economy is slow and the building still continues, it tends to continue down in the beach communities. And that would be the first place to start picking up again when the economy picks back up. But we're seeing them here and there. We're seeing some spec houses up in Giants Neck Heights. So it's picked up a little bit everywhere.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions from the board? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
6-0. Thank you.
Thanks, Joe.
Discussion on tax collector suspense list 2002 through 2012 in the amount of $28,862.05. Mr. First Selectman.
Mr. Chairman, I expected the tax collector to be here and make this report to you. So he would be the one more versed to be able to do that. Certainly we could follow along with his report narrative that he provided to us. There's a list of names that are deemed uncollectible. This is an item that comes before us each and every year. He's tried his best to collect these, and for one reason or another, they're either not available, not in the state, not in business. And then he lists in his letter to you dated yesterday, or I know it's today. Today's date. Okay, yeah. That he has $28,862.05, representing 234 individual accounts, about 3/4 of motor vehicles and 25% personal property that he deems uncollectible, and then he goes on to talk about the lockbox situation. So
Yep.
if you wanted the tax collector to come to your next meeting and review this in more detail, we could ask him to do so. But if
What's the
not-
board's pleasure?
Send it through.
I'm good.
Yeah, send it.
I just had one question, maybe. On like, is that the practice every 10 years to set aside a certain percentage of uncollected to write off debt?
The way it works by statute is you go back
Okay.
so many years and you transfer it to the suspense book. It's a statutory requirement, and so it's more or less an annual bookkeeping.
So do you do it every year?
We do it every
For 10
year.
years?
Yes,
You
and
look through the 10 years and deem what percentage is then uncollectible for that given year through the 10-year period?
well, if you look at the list, there's a reason given for each one that's on the list.
Some I don't think are deceased, but that's all right. I won't say the name, but I see that, yes. There's
Okay,
changes
right.
every day in life, yep.
But then, on the other hand, even though we're putting them on the suspense list, we could still collect them at some point in the future if we were able.
What normally happens if will it show up on the book, say, Mr. Jones and Mrs. Jones moved back into the area and they were suspended account, taken off the books? Would there be any way for a tax collector then to know that once they apply for the statutory? I'm not saying it's, I'm just wondering if there's...
Well, they're still left in the system and classified as suspense taxes. So
But you
when-
don't carry it on your books anymore, correct?
Correct. They're classified as suspense.
Okay.
So this just comes out of the tax revenue line item?
It's just a $28,000 uncollectible.
It's like a bad debt.
It affects
Right.
the percent.
But I mean,
It affects the collection.
We never peg 100% anyway, so it's
right, okay, that's true.
somewhere out of that. Like this letter says we collected.
It's all prior to your tax.
Prior, yeah, it's prior.
Okay,
Okay,
thank you.
any other questions from the board? Do I have a motion to accept the suspense list?
So moved. Second.
Motion made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Last item on the agenda, meeting date. Set the bill rate. We'll have to set a date after the 22nd, which is the referendum, should the budget pass. I would suggest the 28th, which is the following Wednesday. Do we have any way of knowing that
Is
this
that
room
enough
is
time
vacant?
for,
That will be vacant.
That will what?
This room will be vacant the last week of the month. Typically, there's no meetings. So
And Anna, that is enough time, right, for John to do all his,
gives them the whole month of June.
yeah. Yeah, he's got till,
And you're not tied to a 7 o'clock meeting if you